This is Math 3, Unit 1, Lesson 1B notes. That's 1.1b notes. Unit 1, Lesson 1B notes. And it's titled Domain and Range and Interval Notation. Put your name up here in this corner, name and period, so that when you turn it in, I can see that it belongs to you, name and period. All right. First off, review, domain and range. What is domain? What is range? Domain, remember, is a set of all x values, and range is the set of all y values. Now, remember, you do not need to use this paper. If you do not want to print it off the internet, you can just write it by hand. If you do want to print it, you can find it on my website as well as on Google Classroom. And I am going to continue. First one I'm going to go and do, I'd like you to go to your graph, move left 2 and down 3, and put a dot, and then go right 4 and up 5, and put an open circle like this. And then you're going to connect those two. Like that. And we're going to find domain and range. All right, the first way we're going to find it is called inequality notation, which is what you learned last year in Math 2. And remember, domain is a set of all x values, so x is sandwiched between two numbers. It's sandwiched between these two x values. X is -2 here at the start point, and 1, 2, 3, 4 at the end point. At the start point, there's a closed circle, so you put a line underneath. And at the end point, it's an open circle, so you do not put a line underneath. So this is saying x is greater than or equal to -2 and less than 4. So it's everything in between. It's -1, it's 0, it's 1, 2, 3, 3.4, 3.5. It's all the numbers in between -2 and 4, including the -2 and not the 4. Okay, range, and your inequalities always open that way. Sometimes there's an equal bar, sometimes there's not. And the smallest number always comes first. So now I'm reading the y-axis. I go down 1, 2, 3. That's a y value of -3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a y value of 5. It's closed here, so bar at the bottom and not a bar on the 5. So this is the way you would have written it in Math 2. And this is called inequality notation. All right. Now, what we're going to do is learn how to write it in interval notation. That's what we're going to be doing the rest of the year, as well as in advanced math and calculus and everywhere else. Okay, so this is the way it's going to look in interval notation. I'm going to write it down for you first and talk about what's what. So first one will look like this. -2, 4, bracket there, parenthesis there. Next one, -3, 5, bracket there, parenthesis there. Now think about, why do you think I put brackets on the -2 and -3, but parentheses on the 4 and the 5? Now another thing, this is not an ordered pair. This does not mean -2, 4, left 2 up 4. This is not an ordered pair. But this is the way we're going to be writing our answers from now on, and this is called interval notation. Okay, interval notation. Again, the way we're going to be working it out from now on. And here's how it works. Smaller number comes first, the -2, the larger number second. If it's closed, if it's a closed circle, it's a bracket. If it's an open circle, it's parentheses. Do you see that? -2, 4, -2 is included, so it's a bracket. 4 is not included because there's no equal bar, so it's parentheses. We'll get more practice. Okay, number 2. I want you, in this one it really doesn't matter. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. How you graph it, as long as it's just a straight line. It doesn't even have to be one that has negative slope like this one. It could be a positive slope. My y-intercept could have been 2 or 5 or -3, but it's a straight line. Now, how far to the left does it go? It goes left forever. It goes upward, but it's still going in the left direction forever and the right direction forever. Because of those arrows, it's going rightward and leftward forever. So you go like this, -infinity, comma, infinity. And for infinities, you always use parentheses, not brackets. You always use parentheses on infinity, not brackets. Okay, range is up and down. The graph is going down forever and upward forever. It's going down, up and down forever. So you would say also -infinity to infinity. Okay, that one was a little easier. So let's try another one. I'm going to have you go up from 0 up 3 and write 4 up 2. 1, 2, 3, 4 up 2 and connect those two. And from here, you just make a line going like that. Now I'm going to erase it so you can't see a dot there. And just make it like that. It's okay if the dot's there. It's okay if it's not. All right. Domain, x values. Where does it start on the left side? It doesn't start anywhere because that arrow is telling me it's going leftward forever, so it's -infinity. And it doesn't go rightward forever because it stops right there on that x value. What is that x value? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it stops at 4 and it's a closed circle, so it is a bracket. Remember, infinities always use parentheses. Okay, range, downward, upward, always from the bottom up. Coming from the bottom, it's going downward forever. Can you see that arrow going downward? So I'm going to say -infinity. Up, now it doesn't go upward forever. It goes up and comes back down. But what's the highest y value that it reaches? 1, 2, 3, so it goes up to the 3. Bracket on the 3, parentheses on the -infinity. Again, that's because the highest y value it ever reaches, it doesn't matter if it comes back down, the highest y value it reaches is 3. And why is there a bracket? I erased that little dot that I had there, but because there's no open circle, it's just connected, that means it is closed. Okay, next one, I'm going to have you go left 3 up 2. And you could use graph paper here or, again, print it out the way I did. I'm going to put an open circle. I'm going to go right 1 up 4. Put another open circle. I'm going to connect those two. And I'm going to go 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 and put a closed circle. Okay, open, open, closed. Now these lines in between, they could be curves. I'm just making them straight lines, but they could be curvy. It does not matter. Okay, now I have chunks here because of these open circles. That there was an open circle. Because of these open circles, I have chunks. So again, I'm going to make that a little curvy. It doesn't matter if it's curvy or straight. Okay. Now this one, I went from -infinity to 4 with no interruptions because the graph, there was no open circles anywhere. I went straight on over. It was continuous. You see here with that open circle, I cannot just start over here at -3 and end over here. I have to have what's called a union, and here's how it goes. Okay, 1, 2, -3, and there's parentheses because it's open, comma. Now it's not continuous because it opens circle, which is at 1, so I'm going to put comma 1, parentheses. And it's parentheses because of the open circle. Union, parentheses, 1, 2, 5. How does that work? The graph goes from -3 to 1, and again from 1 to 5. So it's kind of like it's broken up into pieces here. And the reason we have to break it up is because if that open circle right there was closed, I can do just like I did over here. I would say -3 to 5 and everything would be fine. But since this circle was not closed, it is open, I have to have a union. in chunks, -3 to 1, 1 to 5. Okay, now the range, my lowest value is 0, and that is closed, comma, my highest value here, what's the highest y value it reaches? Because it does not go up forever. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's parentheses because of the open circle. Now some kids will freak out, like that's open right there. Why do you continuously go up and not stop like I did from going left to right? I go straight up because even though there's an open circle there, look over here, there is a closed circle here. So there is a y value, even though it's open there, it's closed over here, and that is continuous. So 0 to 4. I'll explain more in class if that's confusing for anyone. Okay, next one we're going to go up 2 and just draw an upward parabola. Now domain is left to right. It goes left forever, right forever. This is what you used to say in math too. It's all reals, but we're going to say -infinity to infinity. This is old. Well, it's not old. You still would use it, but it's math too. You're not going to use it in this class anymore for domain. You're going to say -infinity to infinity. And I'm going to have you pause here, come right over here by number 4 and draw me a nice big heart. There's a reason why. Just draw it. I don't care what it looks like. If your number 4 is a different place than my number 4, next to number 4, draw a nice big heart right in there. Okay, number 5, range. It does not go up and down forever, so let's start at the bottom. We're going up, 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 up. And where does it start? It starts at 2. And since there's no open circle there, we put a bracket, comma, and then it does go up forever, so we say infinity. And always parentheses on infinity. Okay, next one. I'm going to have you go over 2, up 1, put an open circle, and you're going to make a line going that way and that way. So it's a linear graph with an open circle in the middle. Now, if that open circle was not there and it was closed in, it would be very similar to this one. -infinity to infinity for domain and -infinity to infinity for range. But since it is open, we do have a union. Okay, so here is what we do. We start on the left, -infinity, and it goes leftward, leftward, and then all the way until this x value here, which is 2. And I put parentheses on the 2 because of the open circle. Union, it starts again at 2 and goes off to infinity. Now, why do I not just have -infinity to infinity? Because of that 2 that's open, I have to stop at 2 and start at 2 with the union and put parentheses because it's an open circle. Okay, and the same is true for range. I'm coming from -infinity, and I don't just go upward forever because of that circle. I go up, up, up until what y value does that open circle occur? At the 1. And I put parentheses because it's an open circle, union, 1, and then it goes up forever to infinity. Now remember, we are going to go over this again in class, so if you're stuck at all, put a little note like, ask Mrs. Torres a question on this, or I'm not sure what this means, or how did she get this answer? And I will go over them in class. Okay, next one. Next one's going to be a lot of points. Left 6, up 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. And put a closed dot. Left 2, down 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and put an open circle. And next one is 3, -5. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put another open circle. Whew. And then it's going to look like this. Ready? Follow with me so you don't get confused. Okay, we're going to go down, up, down, and up. Okay, you can hit rewind and replay if needed. All right, so domain, we can see there's going to be some unions. It's going to be 1, 2, 3 sections, the far left, the middle, and the right. Far left, because that is a dot, we're not going to put -infinity. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's -6 with the bracket because it's a closed circle, comma, the open circle. The first one is here. That's an x value of -2. Because it's open, I put parentheses, union. Between those two open circles, I have a continuous graph, so that's 2 all the way over to 1, 2, x value of 3. Open parenthesis, or parentheses, not bracket, because it's an open circle, union, and it starts again at 3 with parentheses, 1, 2, 3, and it goes off to the right, infinity. That was a long one. Okay. Range, what's the lowest point I have on my graph? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -5 is the lowest point. And does it go upward forever? And does it have any open circles? Now, when it goes upward, it does have an open circle here, but when you go over here, it's closed. Over here, it's closed, so you don't have to worry about it. It goes up to infinity. And parentheses on the -5 because that is an open circle. All right. This here at the bottom, read through it. It's pretty much just wrapping up everything we talked about up at the top. How to use interval notation, when to use brackets, what comes first, when to use in parentheses, and so forth. All right. Take a picture, PDF it, turn it in to Google Classroom, and we'll go over this in class, as well as work on worksheet 1.1b. And that is it for this lesson.